Hi, everybody. Hello. Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm trying to, there you go. I have a different setup tonight. I didn't feel like putting up the table or anything like that, dragging stuff out. So I just did it like this tonight. So I hope that's okay. Let's see, who do we have? Hi, Stephen. Hi, Teresa, Spiritual Seeker, Shandar, Rosemary. Let's see who else is in here. Did I miss somebody? Let's see. Elena, Karen, Charlene, Annie, Anita. Hello, Beatrice and Linda Bishop. Hey, Stephen. Lotus Dancer, hello. Mantis Mel, hello. Dorcas. Hey, Renee. And Kathy W. And Charles Feta, hello. Hi, Becky. Hi, Sherry. Hey, Carol Gallagher, how are you? Sylvia Martinez, Tammy, Doreen, Meduchis. Hi, Lucky Girl. Hi, Marby. And Beatrice Bonita. Pamela, hello. Hi, Clarence. Hello, Cece. Hi, Marby and Kay. Hope everybody's doing well. Haven't been on in a little bit. I've just been kind of I don't know. Michelle. Hi, Anna. Banana. Anna Banana. Hi, Manisha. Lewis. Kate Sweet Blue, hello. Hi, Jerry. Not yet, Elena. I'm not ready to do that just yet. I'm just testing a bunch of candles and doing stuff that way before I even decide if I'm going to sell them. My allergies, I had an allergy attack yesterday. I was going to go live and then the allergies kicked in. So I was like, well, I guess not, unless I'm going to be sneezing my head off every 5 minutes. So I hope everybody's doing well. I made myself a cup of chai tea, and I'm drinking water. Oh, and I made myself, because it's that time of year, pumpkin spice cookies with, I think it's pumpkin spice and cheesecake bits in there. So I hope this setup is okay. I just didn't feel like dragging out the table and doing that whole setup. So I'm being lazy tonight. So, but I think you should still be able to see everything in this setup. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, hi, Feisty. So if you hear me like, and I sound a little congested, or I'm doing this a lot, it's allergies, you guys. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it but take medicine, and I've exceeded the limit of how much of it I can take today. So I'm not trying to OD. I don't think they're going to help with my allergies, Kay. I think it's just going to make me feel happy on my insides. Hi, Pramali. Has it, Cece? Oh my God. I hope not either. What a maroon. Steven. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do a Greg Abbott tableau. And see what we get on him. So let's see. He lands outside of the tableau. So let's see here. 30, 22, 31, 1, 8, 33, 16, 13, 23, 26, 3, 35, 25, 12, 21, 9, 4, 5, 20, 7, 18, 10, 19, 2, 29, 6, 17, 32, 14, 11, 15, 34, 27, 36, 24, 28. Okay. Okay, let me use the tiles now. So give me 1 second while I set those up. Who's ready for fall time, you guys? I'm all ready. I'm super ready. Not that we get much of a fall here. We don't get it, you know, the trees or anything like that, but I'm excited. So let's see here. This crossroad. Lighter. Goes down here. Lighter. Coffin. Oops, that's not it. Coffin. Key. Stars. And child. Where's the kid? Okay. Yeah. Messed it up. Okay. Nice. Okay. Ship. Okay. Nine. Birds. Mountain. And okay. House. Tree. Garden. Sink. Dog. Scythe. Tower. Cloak. Lemon clouds. Storks. Moon. Fox. Bear. Fish. Litter. Okay, I think, yeah, you guys can see that. Y'all can see that. It looks like it's spinning into frame. Let me see here. I wonder if that's helped with the... Just a little bit. I think that's as good as it's going to get, you guys. So yeah, let me see what happens if I do this. Hold on. Nope, now you really can't see. Okay, so Greg Abbott, he's landing outside of the tableau. He's not interacting with any of this. By position, he sits on house cross. He's going to have a lot of very, very difficult, lots of, he's going to have quite a few difficulties and also a significant amount of suffering. There appears to be, what opens up his tableau is some very long-awaited choices that they have been wanting to make, decisions that they have been anticipating, which he has been successful in achieving. However, that win is only temporary because news of the success comes to an end here. The first three cards are lilies. I don't know if you guys can see that. Then crossroads and sun, followed by rider, but then it ends here in coffin. So it's almost like a long-awaited decision that would bring success. Has there's news of something that has ended here. It's quite possibly health related. Coffin sits on tree. And this opens up opportunities for him that are new, but also it also opens up opportunities that become very widespread and metastasizes, quite possibly to do with children. That is the child card, and it sits on coffin. Child is sitting on coffin, coffin sits on tree. It could be something that is that becomes widespread, perhaps replicated, that has to do with coffin. Oh, thank you, Kay. Coffin has to do with death, illnesses, and endings and losses. So that's one way to interpret it. Another way to interpret that top line would be that that long-awaited decision for his success, even though it appears to be temporary because crossroads is right here, for it to spread out and sort of metastasize. It gives other perhaps areas access to what he's doing with children, brings about an ending, and then there's an opportunity, or there is a very big chance for something very successful to come out of this. That it's almost like he's resurrected something here, because key follows coffin. So if we're talking about the health-related issue around children, quite possibly meaning abortions, this would, it's almost like, yes, they brought this to an end, but it now provides access for something to take a new direction here, and for something new to come out of it. So whether that is codifying it into law, we'll see, because crossroads sits on house clover, and clover sits on heart. So it's almost like it's a small win and a temporary win, but it's almost like with storks here, down this column here, it's almost, and it sits on house letter, it's almost like it's reversed or changed back. Storks has to do with pregnancies. Moon would be the womb and anything associated to the womb, for pregnancies, and it's Knight's over here to scythe. So these two together would be almost like an abortion. That's litigated this way. So if we're talking abortions, yes, it's a win for him for now, if that makes any sense. Because it looks like it opens up something else and something new is born from it. Let's see here. He lands all the way at the bottom. So it's almost like he doesn't have any control over any of this stuff going on down here. So he's not sitting in a good position. Also, he's sitting on cross. Now, coffin is also sitting on house tree, and we were discussing, because coffin sits on tree, meaning an illness or something that is health related, quite possibly death, because coffin also talks about death. When I look at tree, tree is the health of the community here. If I box tree in, the health of the community with something that is airborne, that is also metastasizing up here, giving access to something to metastasize and spread for something that is novice, that is causing illness within the community here. That could be airborne, and it keeps changing. It changes and changes here with storks. And it's almost like Book sits on Scythe. He's covering something up quite possibly to do with vaccinations. Scythe would be something to do with injections, vaccinations, sharp pains, toothaches. So he may have knowledge of it, but keeping it under wraps here. And this thing continues to transition, but it transitions and becomes more and more chronic with ships sitting on house whip. And it affects the entire community. Let's see here. There's something that is health related here, not for him. It's health related for the community. Geez. Where is Bouquet? Bouquet sits over here on house storks. And this sits in house mice. So it's almost like problems as well. I don't know if this is mandates or decisions that he's made, choices here that he's made about something that he knows that could be related to vaccinations, that is health related and affecting the public, the community, and causing huge problems because it continues to change. And he's lying about it as well. Book Knight's here, and it Knight's here to writer. So he's perhaps delivering misinformation as well in regards to the vaccinations. I asked on this tableau, about his political career over the next year. And it's not looking good for him in his political career over the next year. He sits on house cross, pain and suffering. Tower, he knights to tower up here. However, he's separated by these two cards, which is being cut off. And then here, this could also be in reference down this diagonal in regards to lawsuits, because you have here Bouquet. Bouquet as, metaphorically speaking, could be talking about clothing, articles of clothing, anything, artwork that is used to perhaps beautify a space, cosmetics, things of that nature. So we could be looking at the lawsuits here that are because of institutions where there is a lot of loss with Tower sitting on mice. So this could also be in regards, this diagonal, which is a line of influence that is currently affecting him because the decisions that he's made for small wins, the lawsuits in regards to mask mandates, but also quite possibly, I haven't been watching the news at all. I've tuned out for like the last week and a half. There could be problems in regards to briberies and kickbacks, because here he's got whip over his head. It sits on house lilies, but then he's got the two money cards right here. He's got bear, which is your resources, and fish, which is transactions, shopping, the kind of cash you keep in your pocket. So that doesn't look good either for him. He's got fox right here, over his head. There's something that he's been doing manipulatively and abusing his power here with whip abuse, bear power. But it's also abuse of his resources and money this way. There could quite possibly also be an investigation into him via a woman. Fox sits on house woman. So I don't know if that's anything that's going on right now. But this is over the next year. And like I said, I haven't been watching the news. There is also, let me see here. Let me take a sip. If this is in regards to corporations, and not just government, but corporations, if I look at it in that context, there could be problems with corporations as well, perhaps corporations that are headquartered in Texas that bring in a lot of financing and business. There could be problems there. Perhaps some sort of delay or a pileup. And this sits on house mice. Perhaps the corporations are experiencing losses in the home state of Texas. And then you have Clover on heart. And Tower sits Silver Mountain. So I'm wondering if perhaps, I don't know what corporations are headquartered out of Texas. Perhaps there's growing pressure there from them as well. That brings financial pressure and business pressure because of his decisions, and he suffers for it. Let's see what else. There, let me see here. Damn. 1 second, please. So it's like it's prolonged problems for him. Here we go at freaking 8:40 at night, and the freaking demons are out there again. Jesus freaking Christ. There's lifelong agreements with troublesome friends here, or long-term agreements and promises, perhaps also contracts. Contracts to do with new contracts, or quite literally contracts perhaps in regards to children. Now, child is in house coffin, and right below it on the diagonal, you have the mountain. If this is in regards to him threatening to block payment for the schools, there's a loss there for him. You have mountain sitting, tower sitting in mice. So he takes away, but then there's a win financially here for the institutions. Does that make sense? Which I know that he had threatened to cut funding for schools, and that got shot down by schools. But then he did something else, I think, most recently. But I don't know if I'm getting him confused with DeSatan down in Florida. But if he takes away from institutions with towers sitting on mice, and takes away because of dress code, or takes away something that would benefit them, there's a loss for him there, and a financial windfall to the institutions, not because of his good graces, but because a decision is made that the institutions win. Crossroads on Clover, and Clover sits right next to the institution itself. So it's a loss for him there. There's also losses for him in court. So besides the schools, and besides perhaps surgeries here with Scythe, and then that sits on House Crossroads, a rash decision or a choice with Crossroads, a choice for a surgery here. Well, there's a loss in court or in government for him as well. Like I said, his wins and successes are temporary, because here you will soon see that, let me see if I can get this into frame. Long-awaited choices and decisions for success, news of a loss and a failure. See what I'm saying? So it's almost like the shenanigans are only temporary. Temporary wins for Abbott, but at the end of the day, he suffers. He sits on House Cross. I hope I'm making sense. He's got whip over his head. Damn. And this line right here sits right over him. Now, Key is sitting on, what is this? Clouds. Birds is sitting on Fox. Crossroads, Scythe is sitting on Crossroads, and Whip is sitting on Lilies. Now, hey, thanks, Stephen. You're the best. This right here, it's almost like boy, oh boy, where is letter? Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. It's almost, if I read it simply, key, interview, and then a ruptured attack here. This is weapons. I'm wondering, because this was an interview or some sort of a discussion that was had, because it sits on Fox, that is shady as hell. And those, unless this is, somebody please tell me, phone calls and interviews, but it sits on House Fox. So there's something that happened in a phone call, an interview, a meeting of some sort that is very shady and extremely manipulative, perhaps under investigation, because something that was perhaps clouded over or gaslighting is exposed with Key sitting on clouds. So it kind of clears up the confusion about a conversation or a meeting that was had that was very, very shady. And it had to do with a decision around elections with Scythe sitting on crossroads. Also, quite possibly a decision in regards to crossroads being your choices. And then Lily's, that's almost like because see what I'm saying? It's like I don't see insurrection because Storks sits way over here on letter. However, it's got letter right underneath it in house key. So if this is important documents that had to do with phones, conversations, there's something here about changing with Storks results here. And there's a record of it over here. And Key Knights over to Tower, which is Key sits on house clouds, which is like clearing up the confusion and the trouble. And then Tower sits on mice, which is it's like decay within an institution, or people in the hierarchy in government are crap in their pants or stealing from government, if that makes sense. And it falls right down his line this way. And it has to do with changing results. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's... Because here's weapons. Okay. Here's the danger at an institution. That danger comes from here. These people, or the loyalist that were delaying or trying to delay. Dog sits on mountain. Mountain sits over Tower. Hi, Doreen. Because that's... Thank you, Lucky Girl. Yeah, buffering, just refresh the page. I can't control what YouTube does. Sorry, guys. So yeah, there's that. Let me see something. Hey, Sunflower, my dear, how are you? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. So give me 1 second. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Um, I'm like staring at this. Let me follow this around. Hold on. Hold on, 31. Okay. Hey, Jane, thank you so much. I'm erring on the side of caution here, but I'm going to say it. Because of this line that falls right over his head, this is the most immediate thing around him right now because this shows his present line. And I was saying something, a very important meeting that gets brought up, and there's weapons here. Unless, and it could also be a very important meeting in regards to surgeries or a choice for surgeries that is being disputed. Now, when I followed the key, it sits down here on letter. And I'm being very hesitant to say this because I could absolutely be wrong. I'm wondering, like I was saying earlier, if he shows up in the records, in the telecommunications records. So I went ahead and asked these cards that I have not used if he shows up in the records that the house is seeking from the telecommunications. I get Sun, which is success and energy and vitality and optimism. And then I got Anchor, which is achievement. And then I got the Lilies, which is maturity and satisfaction and all that stuff. So There's, yeah, man. Let me follow. And then when I follow the letter around to see what this is about, because here it's talking about a successful, very successful transition. Sun sits in house, ship, and ship is right below it. Very successful transition. And then here, public, and then there's the change, the upgrade. And when I follow letter around, I get, let's see, where's letter? Letter, key. Let's see. Let me pull this line for you guys real quick. Book. Sorry. Crossroads. Clover. Heart. Anchor. Birds. Fox. Woman. Ring. Child. Coffin. Tree. Dog. Where's dog? Where are you, puppy? Dog. Mountain. Bear. Sun. Ship. Whip. Lilies. Rider. Rider. House. Storks. And storks. Okay. He signed the voting ban today. That meets a lawsuit because here is the voting. Okay. And then you can't see it, but the scythe sits on house crossroads, which is here. Let me see here. So this is the line when I follow letter around, the chain around the houses, okay? The results or documents, anything written, brings about serious problems and confusions in regards to projects and rash decisions, quite possibly to do with surgeries, because its scythe is right here, and also rupturing and cutting people off from voting with crossroads, the ability to make a choice. It's an opportunity that is desired to achieve something that has been discussed, or something that was discussed in a phone call or some sort of a meeting with birds here. Okay, anchor and birds. There's something here about a very suspicious or perhaps manipulative woman, and some sort of an agreement, because it's a small loss here, and also manipulating women, and some sort of a commitment or an agreement for children, quite literally with child, and then deaths with coffin. Okay, so we could be, and here with crossroads, we could be looking at a couple of things. And crossroads opens up the read here too. So this is double. Crossroads is double. Okay. And here you have lilies right before crossroads that opens up the read. So there's perhaps two choices that have been a long time in the works, and the arrival of that information, because Lily sits on house writer. But it's choices that are not well made, even though Lily's is here, but it's followed by mice down here. And in the tableau, you have whip in the house of lilies. So lilies is also a very conservative card. It's the king of spades. Okay. So it's almost like conservative choices. Yay, we're successful, but it's only temporary. It gets pushed back and it gets debated and fought against. But there's two here with crossroads. So one could be in regards to the surgeries, like I said here. The other choice could also be in regards to cutting people out from voting here, because there's something here about manipulating women, and agreeing for a child here. And then there's your death and losses. There is also growth, a lot of growth, and something that is very solid in regards to blocking people here. Dog followed by mountain, blocking people, not allowing access to be successful and maintain power this way. That's also in the chain. And not only for power, like this is almost like a dictator with these two, but also something here that has to do with loads of resources and financing behind it. Okay. So almost like to stay in power and debate transitions here, change transitions. However, his journey is going to result in fighting, lots of fighting, because those decisions that were made get changed here. Also, news of perhaps people moving residence as well, with writer, house, and storks here. This is like moving out of your house. So, and here we have writer sitting on house. So these decisions and choices, the two, or this is double, or yeah, double. Alternatives, options, choices, doubles. Perhaps two decisions that were made could drive people to move here out of state, or move to a different residence. Do you see what I'm saying? So even though he's got the ban on abortion, bounty hunters out, trying to just randomly rat people out, without any evidence, just call. there's legal disputes here, and he loses. He sits on House Cross, and Tower sits on Mice, so he loses. The wins are temporary. And what I was saying, like, I don't know if if there's going to be something that shows up, but can you guys, Trump won Texas, did he not? Didn't Trump win Texas? Can somebody remind me? Do you guys know? So he did win Texas. Okay, so I don't know. 1 second. Stop emailing me. Unless he was discussing it with somebody else that was in government and how they were planning to cheat and steal, and he had knowledge of it, because this sits in House Fox. So but why would he do that? Why would he? If Trump won Texas and the phone calls that were made from Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump and God knows who else to call states people and tell them to change the votes or find me X amount of votes, he wouldn't have been involved in that because Trump won in Texas, unless he had a phone call perhaps with Ted Cruz or somebody, and caught wind of what was happening. But I don't know. Hey, Rondell, how are you? Thank you for reminding me, Cece. I had forgotten about that. Cece is saying when the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, filed suits to contest elections in Georgia. Well, there's something about a phone call that clears up and brings a shit ton of trouble with him, and it has to do with this right here. But somebody please remind me. Did Ken Paxton ever get, did he get, he got indicted, right? He just hasn't been to trial since he was indicted 5 years ago. CC saying from his website, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton today filed a lawsuit against Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. in the United States Supreme Court. Well, these two mirror, okay? If this is in regards to Ken Paxton, because there's a lawsuit here. What sits in house dog? Tree sits in house dog. Let me see here. Hold on. There's unison with this person or an agreement with this person. He knights to dog. Dog mirrors here. And this would be like an advisor, some sort of a guide for courts or anything legal. And a meeting or a phone call with this person. And an agreement was achieved or made at a meeting with whoever that is. This person had agreed to delay something. Dog sits on mountain. Mountain sits above, what is this? Tower. Snake is on garden, and garden's right before it. Scythe is on crossroads. So maybe that's the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, but he's in trouble as well. He's in trouble as well. If I box him in, he's got this bad card, this bad card, this bad card, this bad card. And birds is real close. The closer birds is, it becomes negative. This person right here is in trouble. Trouble. And he sits on mountain, right? Yeah. Oh boy. So I don't know if Paxton was the one that was on the phone, because he's got birds over his head. Okay. So I don't know if he was calling other people, calling to try to manipulate or do some shady stuff. Birds sits on fox, but the closer birds is to something, it becomes negative. Yeesh. So whoever that person is that was trying to cause problems and delays and obstruct, that person's in trouble. And there's lawsuits towards him, meaning the person that this grand tableau is on, which is Greg Abbott, and quite possibly lawsuits towards this person. However, the delay that there's been some sort of a delay, perhaps from him going here to court, but it's separated here by Scythe. Scythe sits on crossroads. Let me see. And his career's in trouble too, this person. So if he, let me do this, hold on. Because he knights here, obstruct, sorry, he knights to mountain, obstruct, delay, big problems, enemies. He knights down here to bear, power and finance. He knights here to storks, changes and moves. He knights up here to ship, going on a trip or a transition. News about him, he's key. He has access or the answers. Suffering, and then this friend here with Abbott. So if that's Paxton, careful, homeboy, because you're about to step in it. Which, go ahead. Let's see. Let me see. Thirty-one, 3, 11, 30, 1, 4, 17, 27, 33, 6. But this person here gets cut. This person gets cut from the institution. Let me see, 6, 26, 10, 22, 2, 24, 35, 12, 14, 29, 25, 13, 8, 5, 18. Okay. Okay, let me pull those cards. That has to be the AG. Now that okay, hold on. Let me get this. 18. 18. 18, 21, 21. Sorry, guys, I'm not even looking at the chat. I'm trying to pull these cards. 21. One, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. 15, 31, 3 and 11. 3, 3, 3. 3 and 11. Okay. 3 and 11, 30. 30, 30, 30, 30. 1, 4. Shit. 1, 4. House. Writer house. Okay, writer house. Changing the results. 17 and 27. 17 and 27. 33 and 6. So key and clouds. Key clouds. 26, 10, 22. 26, 10, verse 22. $224. 24, 35 and 12. 35 and 12. 14, 29. 14, 29, 25. Oh, wait. 35. 18, 21, 15, 31. 3, 11, 30. 1, 4, 17, 27, 33, 6, 26, 10, 22, 2, 24, 35, 12. That's what I missed. Birds. Birds, fox, woman, wing, child, coffin, and then tree. Okay. Okie dokie. So that's the line. If I follow the chain of houses around the dog, this person has a huge problem. If this is Paxton, he's got a big, huge, ginormous problem. It's dog and mountain. There's something here where he was trying to delay and dispute the successful transition of power. Power, success, transition, dispute with bear, sun, ship, and whip. Okay, he's got a big problem around that. There's some long-awaited news that has taken a while for it to be delivered to the house. Okay, with Lily's writer and house. Then we get Stork's, hold on, Stork's letter, change results, important trouble and confusion on a project that they were keeping secret to cut out stuff from the election to win because it was desired for them to achieve that win. Through a phone call or a meeting that is being investigated by a woman that is committed, and then there's a new loss that is deeply rooted. That's around the dog person. If that is Ken Paxton, I think I've done a grand tableau on him before too. Can't remember when though. But if that's Ken Paxton, he's separated from here. There is a choice and a decision that's made to separate him here. So he gets cut from the institution, government. And it has to do around a meeting or a phone call that was made this way. And the closer birds is, it turns everything around it negative. So it's far from Abbott, so it's not impacting him. It's closest to this person, so it turns everything around these cards negative. The birds do. So there was an agreement that was made through a phone call to delay and obstruct here from this person. This person cut here, also votes, cutting votes, and then institution here to steal. Okay, so, and then here there is a loss that they were trying to resurrect and make successful. This way, it's saying that his success in having a new direction in the courts or with law or government gets eaten away. It gets eaten away. There's losses, losses, losses. This is a loss, and Tower sitting on House Mice is a loss. There's also a legal problem for him. He sits in House Mountain over Tower. There's a huge legal problem for him in regards to financing for this guy, but it also ties in to Abbott here. So yeah. Geez. So I don't know. I don't know, you guys. So maybe the records that are being subpoenaed show the AG here that he's friends with, and then it ends up implicating him. This person is also having huge financial problems. If there's something that you got Fox right here sitting on Housewoman, but Fox is also the work card. Moon is more like your career. So there could be something that both of them have been working on. That could have to do with blocking money or resources to institutions and make them bleed out, lose, but then the finances come in here. But like I said, there's losses for Abbott, there's losses for this person in court. But there's also something, like I said, there's something that looks like it's coming up for Abbott that is financial for him, because his success is blocked and delayed. There's losses in court, but there's a financial institution here. And then there's abuse of power, and then something to do with business. And that business comes this way. So let me see. This is, did anything land in its own house? Scythe in house, crossroads. If this is in regards to cutting people out from voting, there's going to be a lawsuit right here. And I mean, it's immediate. It's not down the line. It's not 2 or 3 weeks from now. It is immediate. Like as soon as it's signed, there's a lawsuit at the door with this right here. Let's see. Let me see what else is here. What else is here? He's got Moon close. He's got Sun far. He's got Key far. He's got... Those are in the sky, but in relation to him, they're far. Okay, so... Let's see what else. He's not successful in what he does. He's not. Sun is far from him, out of reach. I mean, it's very far from him. So this would be very near, far, very far. Well, it's way the hell up here. Very far. Key, very far. Sun, very far. Ring, very far. Storks, very far. He's got Moon relatively close. And Heart close. So it's almost like what he is desiring to achieve, to make him shine, to give him fame, to give him recognition, results in disappointment for him. It results in disappointment because he sits in cross. He sits on house cross. Clouds is far, but clouds is affecting women and pregnancies here, the results of those laws, but they change here. They go back to, and it becomes something that he can't do anything about because he suffers there. Clouds is affecting this right here, tree. So it's almost like it's deeply rooted health issues within the public. Garden in house tower. This could be the courts that oversee the entire community. So perhaps like the Supreme Court. But then there's a problem here. And then loyalty or trust is cut. Also, dog knights here to bear, knights here to storks, knights here to ship, and knights here to what do you call this? Mountain. We discussed this earlier being quite possibly Ken Paxton, but remember we're dealing with two issues here, or multiple issues, because Crossroads is one of the cards that opens up the tableau. In regards to this person, in one context, we can read it as Paxton. In another context, we can also read it as Biden. Birds is close. That's a pair, traditionally an older pair, like an older man and woman. But here is the change, transition of power delayed. Okay. So that's where I got Paxton from. But if Paxton was involved with all this stuff, it also shows up as Biden as well. Does that make sense? Because Paxton was the one on the phone and doing all the shady stuff, trying to delay the transition of power. Okay. Change, power, transition delayed. Okay. That's one knight. This way, he knights to rider, he knights to key, he knights to cross, he knights to man. If I read this in the context of Biden, there's news that comes in where he has access, and then Paxton and not Paxton, Greg Abbott ends up suffering and looking like a clown. If this is Biden, if I read it in that context, if I read it in the context of Biden, he makes a decision here, a very swift decision, quite possibly to do with surgeries. Scythe sits on house, cross. And then there's a win here for him, for Biden. In regards to the Attorney General, he is cut here from government because of something that he desired, which was a win. He took a risk. That win was to maintain and achieve results, and it was done via communications and phone calls. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Whatever, I don't want anybody to freak out. Whatever's going on in Texas right now, yes, it could be a bit slow moving. Lily sits on House Rider. So this could be saying that the news arrives closer to winter. Lily's is the winter. And then you got Crossroads right next to it, which is anything in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. But the number 2 is very significant. Okay. And then you have mice underneath right here. So perhaps almost towards the winter or a little bit before, when the news arrives that losses for what's his face, Greg Abbott. Sun, one of the luminaries. Yes, it sits up in the sky up here above his head, but by distance, it's far. He's not going to be able to achieve the success he wants. Key, what gives you access to open and close things, sits above his head, but it's far. Stars, another one of the luminaries that should be up above the person, but in this case, it's very, very far. Let's see here. Moon sits close, and it's on his house, but look at what surrounds it. Cross right here, pain, sacrifice, burdens, followed by fox. Nope, bad. And then heart right here. Heart sits on anchor. It's a desire and a want that he wants to achieve for fame and recognition, but it backfires and he ends up eating shit. Man sits on cross. So just be patient. It's going to take a little bit of time for things to get rolling. But it's almost like it's a temporary win. As far as voting, purging voters, Scythe sits on crossroads, so that could literally be cutting out your options. Okay. If Merrick Garland is here, I would assume he would be right. Lily's older man, white hair, elder, wiser, very calm, serene, and Whip sits on his house, fighting, disputing, and that person is bringing it this way. This way. Perhaps in regards to voting and also choices. Hey, Jenny. So if Merrick Garland is here, I would think that he would show up as Lily's, and then Whip sits in house Lily's, and Whip sits over his head. He gets a beating. Greg Abbott gets a beating. Okay. So just everybody just calm down. It's not immediate, but it's on the way. And like I said, quite possibly as we start to get closer to winter, maybe because Lily's is winter, but Lily's is also a long time. Okay. And Tower here has longevity. Tower's another card of longevity. So, and it sits closer to Abbott. Or yeah, Greg Abbott. It sits closer to him. But it's got Clover right next to it. And Clover's very, 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 very quick. It's like quick. Even though it's not an action card, it tends to act very quickly and it's very brief. Rider is quite quick. Scythe is quick. And Whip is quick as well. So it may be a little bit before winter or the closer we get to it, but it's already in motion this way. It's already in motion. So there's that. But I would be, if I was Abbott, I would be concerned about this person here. If that indeed is Paxton, because Paxton is in a world of shit. And here it shows lawsuits. It sits at the diagonal of this is Paxton. It sits at the diagonal of him. But he's got this right over his head. And that, the closer it is, the more problematic and troublesome it becomes. And it sits in a bad house and it's got a bad card right next to it and a bad card right there. So yeah. And this way, on this line of influence, is saying that success has been achieved by someone that's friendly or loyal, that is argumentative and fights. So, and the fight is with this older, senior, more wiser person. Does this person win? Does Paxton win? I would say no, because he's separated here from the win, and he's closest to Tower here with mice underneath. So I would say loss for him. So if he tries to go toe-to-toe with, if it turns out to be a battle between Texas AG and the federal attorney general, meaning Merrick Garland wins up here. Over his head, there's worry and anxiety here, and perhaps things that are being eaten away and lost, but it's not huge losses. It's like nibbles. So it could be running out the clock and running out of time. Do you see what I'm saying? Because this is a time card and this takes away. So it's like taking away time, if that makes sense. So perhaps before winter or closer to winter, but okay, let me see what else I can see here. As far as the question was, his political career over the next year. Elections are way up here. It shows success here, and this sits on House Clover. If he wins, it's through cheating and stealing. Mice is right here. Mice and Tower sits on mice. And it's got the win right next to it. And the center of his tableau is talking about achieving something that is of value to him. And it is achieved through lying to the public, lying to organizations, lying to everybody, and blocking people, keeping them out. Dog sits on mountain, cutting them off from here. It's a manipulative tactic here. But does he win? This doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it because, like I said, the good cards are far away from him. The only thing that is sort of helping him is Moon, which sits on his house, but he sits on House Cross. And he's got that over his head. And if you go back to earlier, I know I've talked a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something that comes up, not just lawsuits around articles of clothing or anything like that, perhaps with the masks, lawsuits perhaps over vaccines, but also lawsuits from cutting people out from voting. And that's immediate. But also problems around resources, finances, and something he's been doing with business. So there's that. And then also the possibility of what we discussed earlier around the phone calls. Hey, Colin, how you doing? I'm eating my cookie, and it's really tasty. Let me see. Let's see. Also here, this way, what leads to him eating crow is the news that came in about the energy News about energy news shut down when the public was out of power. So energy transfer to the public, and then there was a change, upgrade, or moving as a result of that. So perhaps that's part of the legal issues around finances and money that he may be facing, because Bear sits on Sun. So there may be something else that comes to light in regards to his involvement with energy and financing from energy companies here. Because here is energy, news, losses, and closed. Here's winter with lilies. Choices, options, energy, news, closed. So what was his response to that? Instead of being honest with the public, he lied and he blamed it on everything else. There's the energy shutdown this way. Access with key to the grid here. Stars, the grid, anything that's large metastasizes. This is energy. I tend to read this more as technology. So, and maps, because stars has to do with maps. New energy grids here. I also do not know if we're talking energy, perhaps we could be talking solar, because this is sun, like the sun, solar. I don't know if there's something that's come out, or if he's done this in the past, perhaps not allowing for solar, or actively working to shut down solar this way. What a little piece of shit, that guy. So this guy's got a world of problems. So I would just be patient and just give it time. So that's what I get from this tableau. So I'm going to end that here. It is 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to finish my chai. Sorry, I haven't been on for a while. I think the next one I have is Ron DeSantis. Who else? Who else do I have? And Ron Johnson. Ooh, I should do Ron Johnson. And Paul Gosar. Hey, Johnny, how are you, my dear? Paul Gosar and Ron Johnson. I think I'm going to try to get to those next. Like I said, I haven't been watching any news. I've completely unplugged. My brain needed a break. So I don't even know what's going on with subpoenas or what do you call this? The House Select. I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. My apologies for taking a break. My brain needed it. So yeah, I'm all set. I was showing Johnny. I'm so ready for the fall season. Look at this, you guys. I got myself a little pumpkin here. And then, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. And you see that? This is supposed to be for candles, but I've got my pumpkin sitting there just like that. So I'm like, I'm ready. Damn it, I'm ready. And then for my Kindle, I was showing Johnny, I got this little Kindle sleeve, and look, it's got pumpkins and kitty cats and owls. And then I put a pop lock on my Kindle so I don't have to hold it like this. I can just hold it with one of these. And I got a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern. So when I hold my Kindle, I usually hold it like this and just kind of, just read. So I'm all ready, you guys. I am ready. And then while I was on my break, I decided I wanted to make a bookmark, but I had totally jacked it up. So I went to the Michael's craft store and I got some of this glittery paper, but the glitter doesn't come off at all. Like, it doesn't come off. So I was too lazy to go digging in my storage closet, because it's like a tiny little hobbit closet. I didn't feel like going in there to get the, the cutter that you use. So I did this by hand, so it looks like absolute shit. But I tried to make a Ouija board, and as you can see, it's terrible because all the numbers are all the letters are all crooked. So I need to figure out, because I stamped all these letters individually. That's why it looks all wonkety. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to work on this, because I have all the paper left over in here. Okay. I bought like 2 sheets of this paper because I figured I was going to get one. I was like, no, girl, get 2, because you're going to jack some stuff up. So I think I'm going to work on this probably tomorrow or something. But then I got to go into the little closet and dig stuff out. And then, you guys, look. Look what I found at the Target dollar spot. You know, where you go into Target? I found these floating little witch hats. I'm so excited to put these up. They're paper. So I have to make them, and then I can hang them up. But I got 2 of these because there's 6 hats. So 6 little witch hats. And then I got paper bats too to stick on the door. So, but these were $1. $1. See? At the Target dollar spot. Because I had seen something like this at Bed Bath & Beyond, but they wanted $10. And good thing I didn't buy it, because I went down to Target and I found this at the dollar spot, and see, $1. So hopefully they look as good as the picture and they're not all like flimsy and jacked up. Oh, you bought one too, Carmen? Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I'm so excited. And then I checked my weather and it's like 78 degrees, 79 degrees, 80 degrees. I'm like, damn it! I'm so pissed. I was like, just get here already, So it is what it is. I can't change Mother Nature. She does what she wants. Nobody tells Mother Nature what to do. Oh, you guys, for any of you guys that garden, I would highly recommend checking out Gardening with Skinny Boy Randy here on YouTube. You're going to love him. He is hilarious. He's pretty funny. He's got a little community over there on YouTube, Gardening with Skinny Boy Randy. And he's fun to watch. So there's that. And let's see, what else? Oh, I did start an Amazon wish list, just because I've been asked a couple of times and I finally got on it. It's nothing. Please do not feel obligated to go in there and purchase stuff. If you just want to be nosy and look to see what's on there, feel free to do so. But please do not feel in any way obligated to. Oh, you got the Gardening with Skinny Boy Randy. Thank you, Johnny. Have you watched him, Johnny? He's hilarious. He's like, live, love, laugh, y'all, grow stuff and eat it. And that's what he says. Grow stuff and eat it. And I'm like, I love him. So yeah, I did start a YouTube, an Amazon wish list. It's in my description box. If you guys just want to go be nosy and look, it's mostly books. Books that I would like to read, because my library, because I don't really like, if I don't have to leave the house, I don't. So my library has a bunch of ebooks, but of course, all the books that I want to borrow, there's like a 2-month wait on them. So I'm almost tempted to just go to the library to see if they have the physical copy, but you know, whatever. So there's that. And I think I'm going to wrap that up here. Sorry for coming on so late and being gone for a while. I needed a break. So thank you all so very, 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 very much. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Hopefully I'm going to be good and take my allergy medicine tomorrow so that I'm not like dying and sneezing my head off. And hopefully I can come back on tomorrow and try to do Paul Gosar or Ron Johnson. Because I did see that Kevin McCarthy is in a world of trouble too. So perhaps we can revisit his Grand Tableau that I had done. Okay, you guys, I'm going to shut up now because I'm sure you don't want to hear me rambling on and on and on because I'm quite boring. But thank you guys so, so much. And I hope this was informative. I know it was kind of like a shitty GT. I didn't really put much effort into it or spend as much time. I don't know. My brain's a bit wonky. So thank you guys so very much. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.